Hi. So we are, as it says, painting houses. And I'm eating breakfast at the same time. Don't worry. It's leftover tacos. I'm gonna unplug so I'm not crunching in your ear. Um, but yeah, I am gonna be eating the rest of breakfast. Um, so we are on early today because of two things. I think this project is going to take literally all day, but we're not going to let it take all day because I'm getting somewhere with my story. I was at page, um, sorry, I was at page 339 or something like that. Let me double check. Yeah, I just finished with 339 and I'm about to do 340. Okay. Um, so yeah, verbally, I will see you in a little bit. Okay, we're gonna be totally still for a minute because I have to go up and wash my hands. And then I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Oi! I'm just saying, going up and down the stairs is not as fun as it's supposed to be. Okay. So, oh, yeah, this one. So, yeah, looks like two guys are supposed to be going over and looking at our house, seeing what they can do with it. And we were half-heartedly looking at because it's like the only one in our price range, a manufactured home. But I don't know if that would, I don't know if we can find a piece of land in our price range and have, the foundation put in and all that, and specifically by the auction date, It really kind of sucks because it's like, happy birthday, you're going to be homeless, But if everyone would buy my books and help me get monetized, that would definitely help. And, if we could get a new place where we know that there's no HOA and, we know we can pay the bills, then, then we'd be doing pretty good, I think. And I could quit, complaining that, we're going to be homeless or whatever if something doesn't happen fast, Um, but I just did something on my game. I didn't know that I needed to photo the muses in the Hercules realm. And there's one more thing I'm supposed to get, and I don't know how to get it. So I'm going to have to, type that into GOOGLE later and find out. Because you get half of Zeus's medallion or whatever it's called, but I don't know where to find the other half. Or if it's like you got to get there even quicker than, it could be you've got to get there even quicker than, than I have, Um, like maybe you need to get there in 120 seconds. I mean, a minute and 20 seconds. I don't know. As soon as I found out that there was a race, I was like, okay, there's got to be, um, there's got to be something for do it faster. So anyway, I had 2 leftover tacos for breakfast. And as soon as I'm done streaming, well, probably as soon as I'm done streaming, I'm gonna have my chocolate ice cream. I was gonna have it yesterday, but it was partially melted by the time that we got home and were able to open it. So it was um, it was coming out, as soon as I popped open the safety seal, um, it was breaching containment. It wasn't just in the cup anymore. It was oozing over, and I was holding it over the sink, and it was a bad thing. I ended up putting it back in the freezer and saying, I'll eat it when it's more um, ice cream like and less milkshake like. Um, so I found out, if I'm not mistaken, I'm not mistaken. Okay. So I just need to finish this row here, that row right there, that row over there, and that row over there, and I was done painting houses. I was doing my 4th of July thing, and my husband was talking to his sister and said something, like she needs to, finish this. And I'm like, you know what? I do need to do something in here. I was personally thinking that I needed to do more of those apartments, because that is an important part of the that's an important part of the story. I mean, it doesn't last very long, but it's an important part of the story in ship duties. So I was thinking, stuff that you um need to do, like at work, your boss will tell you run the cash register and check dates on the candy. Those are your duties for the day. You know? So, in this case, it's something happened over the summer. It goes along with what happened on the island. So anyway, they are um you know something happened over the summer, and as soon as you read the island, you'll know exactly what happened over ship duties summer. Um so anyway, um Sean has to go and explain to some parents, and um one of the families is um I think it was Mick and his cousin. Um Mick was 17 going on 18 when they um when they I mean, when his I think it's Mick anyway. Um anyway, he was almost 18 when his parents died in a car crash or whatever the thing was. Might have been a plane crash. I don't know. Anyway, they are no longer alive. And so, oh no, it's his uncle or something like that. Yeah, I think it's the uncle. Yeah, 'cause I don't know. It's I it got inspired by I think it got inspired by the movie You've Got Mail, where um where Joe's dad is his dad, uh, Joe's grandpa's son. Yeah, duh. But um, but Anna, uh, Annabelle and the little guy, because I can't remember his name, are um. Oh, no, no, no. It was Annabelle is grandfather's daughter, and I think um or Annabelle is, it's either Annabelle is grandfather's daughter or father's daughter, and the other one is the is the other one. Yeah. It's either the daughter is, I mean, it's either Annabelle is grandfather's daughter, so yeah, 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 that's it, because that would make Annabelle, who's only like 9 at the most, um that'd make her Joe's dad's sister, and then the little guy, because I don't remember his name, is grandfather's son, I think. I mean, no, his father's son. So yeah, so the little guy is Joe's brother, and Annabelle is his aunt, and Kathleen Kelly from the Little Bookstore, as she was described at one point, thinks that they're totally kidding, but it's true. So anyway, I kind of thought of it that way. I think Mick's grandpa had uh had a thing with the maid or something like that, and and so his uncle, I think he started with an M too, but I can't think of what his name would have been, because I don't think it would have been Mike or Michael. Maybe it was Mario or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, Mario is another name that I kind of like. Um, but anyway, um, would you get out of the tree, please? You know what? I'll just. There we go. Okay. No! You don't want to fall. Thank you. You. Whatever. I tried to save it. It's stuck in a tree. The firemen will have to help it. He keeps calling her Megara. It's really bugging me. Her name is Megara. Excuse me, little person. I mean, little one. Well, if I finish this house and the next one, I'm just saying, if I finish this house and then the next one, it should be great. Anyway, if I finish this one and, oops. Then, the one after that is already bamboo, so I don't have to worry about that one. You know, the thing is, I really want to get on my sister's file so I can photo the muses. I think I started it. I don't know. I want to say I started it. I don't know. I might have messed myself up. Oh, and if you hear, you know, okay. Ah, there you go. I think we'll watch that one again. I didn't get to hear it. There we go. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, let me name this video real quick, and... Okay. So, it was Hercules Realm Muse Photos. Because I didn't know that was part of the thing. They didn't tell us to do it. There. So I finished 2 chapters today. Although, I will tell you that they were very, very short. The one I finished up the the one I finished up the 3rd page and I was good. So technically I started it. I probably started it like 4 days ago. And I've just been so busy because father-in-law's in the hospital. We need to I think I'm just gonna have my husband Um, like, because, something happened and I really don't want to sit on the seat in father-in-law's car. Um, anyway, not a, not a big deal, but a big deal. Um, anyway, they're talking about putting him on dialysis. I don't know if it's going to be like a permanent thing, like he has to go every Wednesday or something like that. I mean, something like that. Or if it is going to end up just being temporary. It's going to depend on how bad off he is. And anyway, I just don't want to sell that seat. Um, so I like driving our truck. And we never fully discussed that because, like, if it's not something that he's doing right then and there, my husband doesn't want to talk about it. It's like, I know what I wanted to do, and, I'm more comfortable with our truck anyway. Sometimes um, sometimes their car doesn't want to start for me. I was having trouble with the truck for a while there. It turned out my key fob was not right. And if you get a new one from the car dealership that we got the truck from, then you're facing like $400 at the very least. Yeah. Um, anyway, we finally got, so we finally got in the story to the winter dance. I don't know. I mean, I didn't like go into details of how this was allowed to happen because Hayden does not want any pirates dating his daughters. Even if um um oh, okay, there's one that you actually recognize. Okay, if William from Pirates of the Caribbean came up and asked to date Ashley, Hayden would say no. He'd just be flat out no. It ain't happening. Um so so that's another thing where I got inspiration from something is Sean is kind of on a vacation. It'll make a lot more sense when you get to read that book. But Sean is on kind of a vacation. And Ashley is having a conversation with Hayden about dating Sean. And I don't remember what her name was. I mean, I think I'm remembering her her real first name, but not her character first name. I can't remember. I think her name was Liv Tyler. Anyway, she's Steven Tyler's daughter. If I remember correctly. On Armageddon, which also has Bruce Willis in it, and it has, Ben Affleck, who plays AJ. I think it's Affleck. Anyway, she has a scene in there where, I can't think of her name. Anyway, where, we'll call her Liv. Anyway, Liv and AJ have gotten together and, became a couple. And, and her dad caught them in an interesting situation. And, so he now wants to kill AJ. And part of the conversation that they're having about that is that, part of the conversation that they have about that is that she was brought up around rednecks by him, meaning her dad. And I'm going to call him Bruce because I don't remember his name in the in the movie either. The only one I can ever remember is AJ and Bear. Well, I think I remember another name, but we're not going there. Anyway. Oh, and it's got Owen Wilson in it, too. I just remembered that. So, anyway, she's, telling him that I was raised around roughnecks by you, and then you get all shooken and shaken up when I, want to date one, or however she said that. And I got inspiration for my story, about that because, I was raised by pirates by you and mom, and, and then you get upset when I want to date Sean, So, so I changed it up a little bit. But I did get inspiration from that. I get inspiration from a lot of things, actually. Or, like, I see a really cool thing on a movie, and I'm like, man, I wish I would have thought of that first. Wouldn't be a stream without somebody trying to interrupt. Hold on. Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Hey, this is Olivia from the Wise Benefits. I contacted you earlier about the cashback benefits associated with Medicare. Do you recall that?
There you go. Associated with Medicare. which means I am too young to reap the benefits of that thing. Oh, sorry. Hope you're still here. Okay, so, Super underscore Slayer 11 was trying to say, hey, what's up? How's streaming going? And then, got frustrated and said, can you see my chats? And, I had it open. I just had it on the wrong part, because I was trying to read the title and then I just left it on there. Yeah. I'm not used to having people, trying to talk to me on stream. Because they don't usually, and then all of a sudden somebody will, and it's like, I end up not seeing it. So, anyway, I'm trying to get better. Just bear with me. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll have to get a, moderator instead. The thing is that if I know it would get very annoying if I had like 1,000 people in chat. Totally hoping and praying for that one these days. But you got to take those baby steps and actually see the people chatting when it's only one or when it's only two first. And I'm not very good at that. I'm trying to get better. It just, I go on. I assume nobody's going to be talking to me today because usually nobody ever does. And this time there was somebody trying to talk to me. I'm so sorry. But 95% of the time, actually, okay, 100% of the time, if I know what I want to say, I will answer your question every single time in YouTube. I have a little more chance to respond and, like, even if you were just commenting on my Disneyland videos, like, somebody will be like, the fourth goose is gone, or, okay, that's actually not allowed on my stream, but, like, maybe they want to talk about the scariness that happened in, America Sings, I don't like that being on there because I don't want the focus to be on that aspect of it. I want it to be on the awesomeness of the ride that it was, That's exactly what I want. Now, I was thinking, and they could do this somehow with screens. I don't know, like, somehow I think they could do this with screens. And I don't want, like, I wouldn't want it to be that way. I really wouldn't want it to be that way, but the ride America Sings, I think, really needs to come back to Disneyland. But in a safer way. So I keep thinking that it needs to be like, like Alice in Wonderland, where you go through it and you go through it and you get to see everything that's in there. But that's another one of those rides where you're supposed to be Alice. You don't actually get to see Alice in the ride. You are Alice. And, you know, that was something that Disney was missing before. I love that ride. I don't think I'm gonna love it with the screens. But but what I was thinking though is that you could be in a ride seat and for America Sings, you could be in a ride seat and like go through it like Alice, be on a track, but have I don't think that necessarily. Well, the way I was just thinking of it, where it's like kind of you look up to see what you're trying to see, but that doesn't work for everybody. So it wouldn't be a ride that everybody can do, and I don't think I could look up either. Like it would be above you on the track, but that doesn't work. Um, okay, I still haven't figured out how you would do it, but since they do have it to where um you go on, what's it called? Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, which doesn't have a whole lot to do with that train. I mean, you're like on the train and you're watching them drive by on the car, but I don't know. It just seems like the train is not the focus. But anyway, um, the title's cool, but I like the title, but it just doesn't seem to be what it should have been. Because they're calling it Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Well, you're not on the railway. You're definitely not on like a runaway train like Big Thunder Mountain. It just doesn't seem to fit. But that's what they called it, so. But anyway, on Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, you are going in a certain direction, and then all of a sudden you end up in the ballroom with Daisy. Your chair, I mean, your set of chair that you are sitting in turns to face Daisy. And then when it leaves the room, it, turns to go straight again. Well, as straight as Disney rides go, but, Okay. Am I done? I think I am. Yeah, okay. And I've got one layer of roof up there instead of two. He doesn't even know how that happened, but Squibs helped me, put in all these houses. And except for that, they're all the same color. They're either all this color, or if they're a two-story, they're all that color. It worked out really good. Because I therefore did not have to put in these houses. I was getting to the point where I was like, do I have to? But they were getting done in the right color, is the thing. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Wait, blue, right? No, 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 no. Blue, right? Right. Okay. like suddenly, wait, that's the color across the street. No, that's not the right one. But anyway, I think we could come. I mean, I think they could come up with something like that where you're in the thing the whole time, and it would have to be a really big warehouse, I think, because it had a lot of stopping points. Um, I mean, they had it in the carousel in Tomorrowland, but I don't believe that it belongs in Tomorrowland. It could be in like you know how It's a Small World has that big courtyard and there's like nothing there but room for the line for that. And part of it is the parade route thing. Well, they could do something like that, I think. I'm not sure. But they could do something like that where they, lead it into the back lot a little bit, I guess, and have this big, really neat ride. The only problem is that they'd have to add to it because, there's rap, there's R&B, there's I mean, you'd have to do it in such a way that, it still fit um it still fit the vibe of what it was in the first place. Or maybe for the original like for the original part, have the eagle and the owl, and then like we graduate to a um um I don't know, something, um or maybe like maybe they're dressed like pilgrims or something like that in the first room where you first meet them. Whatever they would have been dressed in like 1776, and then graduate their outfits along the way. When they get to who shot that hole in my sombrero, who put that bullet in my hat. um they could have them dress as gunslingers, and then when it's two storks or something, tall white birds. That's all I know. It's tall white birds, and it was twistin', twistin', New York, New York, something like that. And because I can't remember the next line. Um, I know those two parts are in there, but anyway, they could have like it be on a straight track, and nobody gets hurt unless you get out of the vehicle at the wrong time. You know, so it would be like but like when they're in that scene, like um maybe they're wearing um you know jeans and a leather jacket, and then um when they go into the new part where it's rap and R&B and I don't know, reggae or whatever, you know they'd probably do the reggae right after that. um but like they'd be able to like for reggae, they'd have like the reggae hair, and And I think they were wearing jeans and a t-shirt too, but like, super comfy clothes. Um, anyway, but, like with rap, you'd have to go and make sure that it was A, family friendly, and B, probably more Vanilla Ice than, uh, I don't know what Snoop Dogg sings, but I'm going to say Snoop Dogg because that's the only person that I can think of that sings that would be that. Um, I don't know if he like sings um, rap or if he sings something else. I actually don't know. In like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air kind of stuff. That's something. That's something rappy that rap like that you can sing and not upset people. I mean, you couldn't do that necessarily, or you'd have um I mean, if they could get the rights for it, then you know that'd be good. But um, like maybe they'd be standing there talking about, and then there's nowadays or something like that, um, and you have some kind of bird standing there, or I mean some kind of animal standing there and singing the part of the Fresh Prince of Bel Air, and because um it was little parts, about 30 seconds each probably. Um, and maybe it was a little longer than that, but it wasn't very long of each song. And one of my favorites is the part where um um oh she's saying something about I'm just a bird in a gilded cage, and then down on the stage uh down on the stage male bird says she's not but she seems to be, or something like that. And then it goes into this big thing of rah 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 boom da. Anyway, it's really cool. um I, I think that if they took that technology and of being able to turn the chair like that, it would help tremendously, and there wouldn't be a thing to get um there wouldn't be a thing that turns that maybe hurts somebody. I mean, it definitely did hurt somebody, but nobody would get hurt. It would be like a regular ride where nobody gets hurt unless they somebody got hurt on the Roger Rabbit ride one time, and it's because I want to say he was mentally disabled, or maybe just disabled in general, but anyway, I think he was mentally disabled. Um, but anyway, he got out of the car, and I don't know if he was just standing there or what, but the car behind him hit him. And, that's bound to happen if you get out of the vehicle. So that's not good. And my stepdad Ben actually got out one time. He was on the Haunted Mansion and he caught himself. Um, I don't know if it was really permanently, but at least for that day, he got himself kicked out because he decided to get out of his red vehicle on the Haunted Mansion and just walk around. I mean, if it was back, I mean, if it was nowadays, that might actually be a thing. Because that ride's been breaking down at least since 2000. And I thought, okay, so I seriously thought, and excuse me, it ruins the immersion, ruins it. But I thought it was breaking down because it was summer. No, it turns out that somebody screwed something up somewhere. So it just breaks down every time you write it. And, people think that it's just normal. It's not. Okay. 1, 2, 3. We'll count this one. 4. Okay. So since we did start like way early. Okay. Um so they did give up on me. Um anyway, what was I saying? I have no idea. Lost it. Oh, since we did start early, we might end early because like I said, I'm working on that story. I'm working on trying to get um my I cannot get Mickey Mouse, Moana, Ursula, or Wally to trigger for the Parks Fest event. And I think there's more goodies that I'm supposed to be getting. I'm gonna have to go on there in a little bit and see. For Dreamlight Valley, and I'm gonna have to go in there and see because I really think that I didn't get the whole thing, and the internet just I looked it up on the internet the other day, and it just says talk to them. And it's like, well, if I could talk to them, I wouldn't be looking it up, would I? Okay, so that one's bamboo already. Okay, so I've gotten a block. Really? Wait. Oh, so almost 2 blocks done. Yeah, as soon as I finish this one, it'll be 2 blocks. And we still have to go way over here. That'll be a 3rd block. That'll be a fourth block. Fifth block. Sixth block. A seventh block. An eighth block. Ninth block. Okay, so there's 9 blocks. I think after the 2. So, yeah. So you're probably noticing this over here. Yeah, we have a track that goes all the way around. Or at least all the way around to a certain point. I'm not sure it goes all the way around. We do have the problem of this one, the mountain is not finished yet. Um, what I started to say before I totally distracted myself earlier is that, it's Monday, so they're doing the gardening out there. I don't look forward to having a yard, but maybe we can have a riding lawnmower or something so we can take turns. Oh, oops. I'm having a question. Okay. Anyway, this will look really nice when it's done, and I'll be happy. Okay, so switch that to spruce, switch that to birch, switch that back to that, and away we go in our birdmobile. Totally kidding. Yeah, I guess we're gonna have to put in backyard effects because, oops. Because we took them out. I mean, no, we took them out. We never put them in. I thought we did. I thought I went and did that for every house. And apparently I did not. Oh, these people are keeping sheep to make their own wool. Yeah, for some reason, I go and ooh, this doesn't even have doors. Anyway, sometimes, um, when people are talking about The Wizard of Oz, for some reason, I think it's apples. Apples have put them to sleep. Sleep. But it's poppies. Yeah, it's poppies. So yesterday for some reason, um, we were all on Discord together. Um, Normally we'd be on headset, but our son wasn't home, so he couldn't be on headset. Um, so it ended up that hold on. So it ended up that I couldn't really hear him. I mean, my husband and my husband and um our son Squibs. Remember, that's a gamer tag, not his real actual name. Anyway, Darth and Squibs, they could hear each other just fine. I could not hear him, and he could not hear me, apparently, because, at one point, my grandma is living with, my grandma's living with my parents now because my aunt can't take care of her right now. She's, um, she's in the hospital. So, yeah, that's what I thought. Anyway, she's in the hospital. So, um, yeah, she needs lots of prayers. So grandma went to go, um, well, they had to go and collect grandma because I'm sure grandma's not driving anymore. Um, but anyway, they had to go get grandma and, um, take, she's now at my parents' house. So grandma was trying to say, hi, how are you? And it wasn't working very well. I wasn't, or like I heard her, but as if she was from a distance. It wasn't very loud. But I answered, and he said, it would be nice if you would answer. And it's like, I just did. He was like only hearing me on my husband's headset or something like that. So, yeah, I didn't quite understand what was going on. I've never had problems with this headset before. I mean, I know that on my stream, y'all can hear me, so I don't get it, but well, we did paint some houses. Mm. I kind of lost count of how many days it was on here. So, so maybe one of these days I will go on here and catch up, but I can't do that right now. We've got to, um, make the house look presentable enough for, um, for people to come and look at the house. And, um, I think we just got, a lot too much stuff for that. Um, the the fun thing is that they've got a whole bunch of, like classic toys. Um, well, I don't know if it's a whole bunch, um, but the way my sister-in-law was talking was like she's got, some good stuff in there. Well, I know that they have like a Raggedy Ann and Andy doll in there. That might be worth something to somebody. And if it's still there and wasn't in our storage, oh, I think it was in our storage. Um, we had a He-Man set in there. Oh, these people have mule, donkey, one of those two. Anyway, and New Kids on the Block. That's I can only ever think of Backstreet Boys and not 90 Degrees. Just had it in my head. Maybe it was 98 Degrees. Anyway, I can only NSYNC. That's what I was thinking of. But New Kids on the Block is the one that the guy that plays Danny Reagan on Blue Bloods was in. He was in New Kids on the Block. Of course, right now, the only New Kids on the Block song I could think of is the oh, 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 the right stuff. I don't know. I liked their stuff, but it wasn't like I had to have every single song. Oh, and this one's got cows and chickens. Well, they will definitely they will definitely have breakfast foods. Oh, okay, not the breakfast food I was thinking of because I was thinking bacon, but they need one more animal for that. But anyway, the hot food. So yesterday, I decided to bake the um uh I always bake the hash browns, but I decided to bake the sausage to go with it. It actually tastes better that way. Like it tastes like as opposed to the microwave. Um, I'm stopping for water. But like it tastes like it got cooked. Sometimes it tastes like it got overcooked, but it tastes like it got cooked. Okay, I know it happened just a few seconds ago, but Grizzly River Run, according to I think it's Fresh Baked, has been having some issues with the geysers. They're supposed to be going off when you go by, and um I don't know if they're supposed to be that's in Disney California Adventure. Otherwise called DCA. But if you don't know what DCA means, then this is a perfect time to learn because it's Disney California Adventure. But I think they started calling it DCA because Disney California Adventure is a bit of a mouthful. And if you're wondering why they don't go in the houses, that's an iron door. They can't open it. Um, but, like, I kind of think that maybe they want to ignore that they named it California Adventure. Um, it sounds like it sounds like during part of the year that one ride, I want to say Soarin', but I'm not sure. Um, it's Soarin'. What was it? Soarin'. Um, around California. I don't know. I've never been on it. It's just it's like Soarin', California or Soarin', America, something like that. And then during another part of the year, it is soaring around the world. Or maybe it's soaring around the world all the time, but I don't think so. See, they were standing next to each other, wanting to make baby cows. And then I walked up, ruined the idea, and they just walked in their separate directions. That's okay. Um, I don't know what else to say. We literally started this one an hour and 37 minutes ago. After doing my. Okay, so I was going to work on my story, and I want to continue working on my story. It's driving me crazy though because it's telling me this voice doesn't have the ability to be, you know, part of your production. It doesn't say it in those words, but basically that's what it's saying. But it's a voice that I know is usable, and then I have to go and press the button like 4 times, and then it finally does it. So I don't know if I'm getting to renewal time and so it's giving me problems, or would you get out of my way, please? I don't know if it's getting to like renewal time and that's why or what, but I want to say maybe it is, but I don't know. So one thing that I do want to, get when we get the new place, because obviously we're gonna have to, either that or I'm gonna have to get rich really, really fast. Um, Pretty sad when you think $10,000 is getting rich. Actually, it's probably more than that now. But yeah, I don't seem to be able to get a job. We went in there just to go shopping to the dollar store. Day before yesterday, I think it was, and she just said I don't have any hours. And it's like, okay. Sounds like she hired the other lady and you know she's got the hours and I don't, or something. Cause yesterday, was it yesterday? Question mark. No, it must have been the. Yeah, I think it was the day before yesterday. Anyway, we had gone in there to I think get soda, something like that. And Oh, that's why we were in there. We were in there to get me a soda, actually. And I wanted a can of soda. That's all I wanted. I didn't want the big old bottle. But the big old bottle came in handy because um I don't know what day it was, but like he'd been in the hospital for 2 nights at that point. He's been there ever since. Father-in-law. So, he's been in there ever since. And they're talking about putting him on dialysis and all that stuff. But anyway, um, we had gone in there to get that, and she just happened to be there. And it was, she said she didn't have any hours, and it's like, I think that is, brushing me off, basically. I don't know if I mean, I can't understand her very well anyway, so, I don't know if it's my ears or her accent, but I know that I cannot understand her very well. So I don't know if it would be a good idea in the first place. I mean, I would probably get used to her accent eventually, but I don't know. And, it didn't give me good vibes when she said that she wanted the manager position and they didn't want to give it to her at first, so she quit. And then she got back in with the company and they didn't want to give her the manager position again, so she quit. And then now she's back again as manager. That threw up a red flag right there. I don't know. But at least I'd be making some kind of money and I'd be able to, I'd be able to at least buy my DLCs on, my DLCs for my games and help out with the bills, and that's my main goal, is help out with the bills, but it's not going to come fast enough to get out of the problem that we're having. And I don't think that if we're buying the house that they should have any role over whether we keep it or not, just because we don't want to pay the I mean, it's not that we don't want to pay the HOA. I mean, I don't think we should have to, but, it's stupid. They don't do anything, they just pay the gardener. And the gardener uses pesticides, not pesticides, uses weed killer that is bad for breathing. That's the problem if we get a manufactured home. We're going to have to take care of the lawn ourselves. And I'm going to make sure that we have a lawn. I've never done a lawn. I've never been responsible for the lawn before. But, I would go and make sure that we had grass. And at least at the corners, some roses. I can keep flowers alive if, like I can keep flowers alive if they if they're already started, established, alive, then I can keep them alive. But you want me to start from a seed? Heck no. I am bad at that. I was actually very sad. It was either preschool or kindergarten, I think. And yeah, I think it was preschool. Well, Head Start. Um, Preschool is, I think of it as preschool is the one that you pay for, and Head Start is the one that the government pays for. At least when I was younger. But anyway, um, teacher said that if you put a seed in dirt and you water it, it's supposed to grow. And mine didn't. When the other kids, theirs grew really good. Really good. But mine didn't grow at all. And I was sad about it. But if it's already established and alive, I can keep it alive. I'm one of those people that can talk to the plants and, tell them, grow, baby, grow, something like that. They stay growing. That was like the only reason why mom had flowers for the longest time, is because I would water them and talk to them. That was the only time I really liked going outside the house. I mean, to like, be outside. I don't really like being outside. Most of the time it's either, at least now, most of the time it's either too hot or too cold, or there's nowhere to go. So, yeah. Um, so my mother-in-law called up this morning, and I don't know what it is, but her fax machine or printer, something like that, is messed up again. And it's like, I almost want to ask her, what are you doing to make it break? Because, any other time it works. And then she needs help. It's really strange. Yeah. But anyway. So, last time I told you about my story, we had been getting ready to go to the winter dance. And, and that whole thing about, Armageddon and AJ and stuff was actually supposed to be leading to, if Hayden really does. Hold on. Hello?
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 Yes, my name is Kevin. How are you doing today?
Okay.
Ma'am, this call is about whole life insurance plan that are designed to cover 100% cost of your burial, funeral, and cremation expenses. Ma'am, may I know how old are you? What's your age?
First of all, I'm not dying. It's not life insurance, it's death insurance because you can only cash in on it after you're dead. And I don't want to be bothered right now because I am in the middle of streaming a video game. Have a nice day. I think I was more than nice. I mean, I am doing this for the pure pleasure of showing you what I'm building, or for the other games to show you how it's done. So if you want to go and try that game, maybe you can play it better or get it right the first time. Um, like Disneyland Adventures. Right now, I'm making like a tutorial, but rather than go and break up videos that I already have, I'm making new ones. And the reason why I'm doing that is because somebody might need that tutorial. Only problem is I don't remember when the first episode of Disneyland Adventures was. Was it in 2025? Was it in 2026? I don't know. Because I would like to have a separate folder for this set here. But so far it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Well, next time I get annoyed and start streaming from the first piece to the last piece, because I cannot get Haunted Mansion to save my life. I can't get the whole thing. I've gotten it once. I actually do have 5 out of 5 on both parts of the Haunted Mansion, if I remember correctly, on my one file. I cannot think of what I am missing. It says I'm at like 98% and I don't know what I'm missing. Unless for some reason that thing that I'm missing, I finally got the I finally got the hidden Mickey in the Jungle Cruise. I was missing one hidden Mickey, and I think I finally got that. So it is 9:12 now. We started at like 7:16 today. We usually start at 8, but today was special because we were already on the Xbox, or I was already on the... Well, you're with me, so you're part of we. But, yeah, normally we start at 8, but this time I was already on the Xbox because I was like, oh yeah, I better do that before I forget. There's some muses that you have to take a picture of, and you get stuff. And I already had 2. I just need to get the other 3. And so I got those today, and I was very happy because I'd be happier if I could get the other thing for Phil, because I've got half of the Zeus medallion, but I don't have the other half. and I don't know how to get it unless it's one of those things where you gotta do the trial over and over and over again until you can get it in under a minute or something like that. That would make sense. I don't like the idea, but it would make sense. So I was watching Suro play that time trial earlier, and he kept running into the thing that goes up and down. And because I play golf with your friends, I knew stuff like that. You don't want to touch it because it's gonna smash you in the head or something. Um, or golf with your friends is gonna smash your golf ball. Um, they don't show it smashing your golf ball, but you know that that's what happened because you get respawned. Um, anyway, you get respawned. So maybe this is one of those things where I was doing every single one, and then I was just like, the heck with it. I don't know. And I don't know if I'm just too far out of the spawning. No, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Fun. I'm being sarcastic. I have to do all the walkways and driveways on that part of the street, and then I've got to. What am I doing? And then I've got to. Then I can color the houses again. Okay. Scoot, scoot, scoot. I tell my cat that sometimes, and he doesn't listen, but most of the time he does. Scoot, scoot, scoot. And, sometimes he meows at me like, you just think I'm in the way. It's all tone of voice. Like he'll meow at me like he's complaining. See, and these people are keeping a panda too. One of the houses on this street over here was keeping a panda. I wonder if they'll have a panda play date. I hear that you do not want to keep a panda as a pet. They're cute, but sometimes cranky. Oh. Oh, yeah. Okay. So I said, oh, yeah. So it reminded me of that song where, like, a big part of it is just, them playing the music and it saying some like, oh yeah, something like that. I haven't heard that one in a while. But it's on a movie called The Secret of My Success, and it's got Michael J. Fox in it. That one's a little crazy because the owner of the company that he ends up working for, um, the owner of the company that he ends up working for is like a distant relative. Like the poor guy's name is Brantley, and anyway, the poor guy's name is Brantley, and he, hold on, he wants to make it big in the city, and that's that's gonna be harder than it sounds, because yeah, see, that is the main street, and then it's gonna come over here, and it's gonna end up going that way eventually. I just don't know when. And then these are the apartments that we're building. Oh, they're actually supposed to have a front porch. I mean, not a front porch, well, I guess a front porch should do right there, you know. Um, anyway, they're supposed to have uh, yeah, like a porch. And the one guy's mom got mad because because something happened, and he's gonna go live with his, well, okay. um uh, he got married without her being there, and as soon as she told her husband what happened, he had a heart attack, so he's in the hospital. um but she throws all her son's stuff out on the lawn, so I had to make sure it had a lawn. um but yeah, we're gonna build a whole bunch of those apartments, and it'll be great eventually. Okay, so these all have the back. Yeah. Maybe I should do maybe I should do, yeah, I'm whining a little bit, but maybe I should do the garages first, and then come back and do all of the um front walks. I don't know. But there's something like really super satisfying about having, this and the front walk done together at roughly the same time. Um, yeah, so anyway, the part of the story that we're at right now, it went from we were getting ready to go to the winter dance. Oh, that's what I've tried to say about 3 times now. Okay, so I was just thinking about it, and I have no idea what would have possessed Hayden into agreeing that his daughters could be left with their best friends. But um but that's what ended up happening because I wanted them to be able to spend time together, you know? I wanted them to be able to spend time together. See, and these people are keeping pandas too. Okay. I keep yawning. It shouldn't be because I'm hungry. Maybe I'm just tired. Although I didn't stay up very late last night. Mm. No, I'm lying. Not lying, but um yeah, I stayed up really late last night. I forgot. Um we've been going to bed at 11, but every once in a while I stay up, and that's what I did last night. Is I stayed up and yeah, I stayed up until like 1 o'clock. And then I like woke up at 6 something, and I'm like, I need to work on my story. You know, I need to finish that chapter at the very least. And I can get it done. I mean, I think I can get it done. It depends on how long it takes to move and get settled in and all that. And if fortune cookie fortunes are ever gonna come true, I'm hoping that last fortune cookie fortune I got does come true, because it said in due time you'll be financially stable. And I really, really, really want that to happen. There we go. Okay. Anyway, and I don't have any Coca-Cola today. I made sure to drink it up yesterday. Bobby is snoring. Anyway, Sean and Jesse were gonna stay by themselves, and then Morgan came up with the plan of we need a captain, and at that point she thinks it's Ashley. We need a captain, and we need a first mate. Well, you can't leave um you can't leave Sean alone with Ashley, so we've got huh? I think that's this. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, you can't leave Sean alone with Ashley. That would be not okay. Because that's just how Hayden's gonna see it. Is that it's not okay for them to be by themselves. Well, so Jesse and Chantel get to, they're supposed to stay two, and that way, the two girls can fight off the two guys if they need to. But I'm thinking, I'm really thinking that that's probably not the way it would go. If he's really an overprotective dad, like he's, like I wrote him out to be, he would probably put his foot down and say no, and have Sean and Jesse stay by themselves. But the way I wrote it is that they are going to the winter dance. Sean's taking Ashley and Jesse's taking Chantel. And, they dance until dinner time, and I did put that in there, right? Yeah. Okay. Anyway, they dance until dinner time, and then they all order their meals. Well, the one thing that Sean, Ashley, and Jesse are trying to do is stick with the drinks that they brought with them. Perfect. Okay. Stick with the drinks that they brought with them because they know it won't be having any added stuff to it. But when it's Chantel's turn, when it's Chantel's turn, she goes and 4 orders of, I think it's white grape and red grape, sparkling cider, and she explains that, and she ordered a whole different meal. Everybody else ordered the steak and, whatever else it was. And she ordered the duck. I put that she gags on mashed potatoes. I used to gag on fish sticks. And I used to love fish. But, last time we had fish, it tasted too fishy. So it could be a bad box, but it tasted too fishy at the time. So it's like I don't really want to try again. Yeah, so since we started so early, I think we'll end early and just go till 10 cuz we started at 7:16. I think that'll be enough streaming time for today. Like I said, okay, I'm sure that noise is outside or in the game, but it sounded like it was upstairs. Because it could have been that kind of noise. Um, could have been that kind of noise and just sounded like the neighbor like yelling or something. That's another thing. I want a standalone house. Whether it's stick built or manufactured, I just want it to be standalone because there's so many times, I like our our blah, blah, blah. I like our neighbors. I don't necessarily like the ones with the kids, but I don't know. Sometimes it sounds like they're somebody's falling down the stairs instead of going down the stairs, or they're like going down the stairs way too fast, and gives me anxiety that like all of a sudden an ambulance is gonna show up. Think it was last week. It might have been before that, but I think it was last week. When the neighbors up the street, more toward the corner, they had an ambulance go to their house, but it was either a thing where they could fix it right away or the okay, so I was thinking it was either something that they could fix right away or it was the patient wasn't alive anymore, or it was false alarm. I was, out of those scenarios, I was hoping for a false alarm because, it didn't drive away with sirens on. But we saw an ambulance yesterday, or, at least an emergency vehicle. I'm pretty sure it was an ambulance, though. We saw one that was going down the freeway way too fast without these lights or sirens on. And that's a big no-no. Anyway, um, anyway, we went to go visit father-in-law yesterday, and like I said, they're talking dialysis, but on the other hand, they're talking they want to go and make sure that he they want to go and make sure that that like they want to see if they can do without the dialysis somehow. There we go. Um, and he was saying how they want him to get up and walk, but they did not take him out for a walk day before yesterday. They took him out for one yesterday, but not the day before. And then wondering why he's so wobbly on his feet, you know. I personally think that he's wobbly and off balance because, you know, he's been wobbly and off balance for a very long time. And before he was blaming it on the dog because, you know, the dog obviously got in the way. That was their dog Cookie. You know, but she would do things like that. But the one time I was watching, you know, just to make sure, she didn't get up. She was just there. And he tripped and yeah, she got yelled at. And it's like, excuse you, that was your clumsy, not hers. That time. Of course, nobody's going to believe me. Because I've said that before, and, you know, one time my husband will be like, yeah, I know. And then the next time he'll be like, well, Cookie did get up a lot. And it's like, no. No, 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 no. So, Brady is up there in years for a puppy dog. And I'm a little worried for him. Normally, he goes up to the edge of their property, and that's where he'll go potty, you know. And lately, he's been, I mean, mother-in-law can't take him out for a walk, and father-in-law's in the hospital right now, so, you know, he doesn't get to go for a walk. He gets lit out in the backyard, which is not the same thing, and then he may or may not get those, foxtails, stickers, whatever you want to call them, in his paws, you know. And those are very bad to get up their nose. But anyway, I was telling you about the story. The story's a lot more fun to talk about. Wait a minute. No, 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 no. That is wrong. We need to fix this. Okay, first of all, it's this one here. Second of all, it's this here. No. It's this here. Yeah, and that there. Okay. We're good. I think what the deal is that I screwed up at some point and maybe I didn't finish fixing it, or I just screwed up there. I don't know. I just really don't know. And it's kind of bugging me because, like stuff that I thought was done already on this file is not, and then stuff that should be done already, I'm noticing didn't get done, and I'm like, didn't I do this already? And I don't know what's going on. But anyway, okay, so I was telling you about the story. So they go to they go to the thing, they have dinner, and then when it's Chantel's turn, she orders, um, three, I mean, 4 glasses of red grape cider and 4 glasses of white grape cider. And everybody's looking at her like she's nuts because the last couple of dances that they've gone to, the punch was spiked. Well, she didn't ask for punch, she asked for grape cider, but still, it's from the school, it's probably questionable. Somebody has probably added ingredients to this cider, but it's not the school that's adding it, it's one of the students. But yeah, it's probably spiked, Well, turns out it's perfectly fine. And then afterwards they go home. Well, at first it was going to be all one big thing, going from the winter dance to them coming home from Ashley and Chantel's grandparents' house. And I decided that's not the way to go, because I tried to do it scene by scene. So like if it was a movie, you would definitely see them going to the winter dance, and then you see them going to, Sean going to hang out with Ashley in her room, and Jesse going to hang out with Chantel in his room. They wanted to be on 2 different floors, so it would feel like they were alone, I just realized something. I have no idea if I did this right or not on all the other... That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. I just need to look for the 2 stories, See if I got it right. Yeah. Okay, there's an opening there. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna have to do it on the other side of the street too. It's gonna be interesting. Wait. You're probably going, what's a cobblestone piece between friends or whatever. And, it's just got to be right. That's the best way to explain it, is it's got to be right. Ugh. Yeah, I think my body wants to go back to sleep. I woke up at 6 something this morning and needing to go upstairs. So I took care of that and I came down here. I was working on my story a little bit and then I decided I was hungry, so I went and got my tacos. And somewhere in there, mother-in-law called because, her, we'll just say her device because I think it's the fax machine, but I'm not sure. Anyway, isn't working. So I made sure to pass on that message right away. Before I forgot, because like I said, I woke up at 6 something. I don't know that my brain was functioning on the higher levels at that point. So just in case, I wanted to make sure I passed on the message before I forgot it. But like I said, I was, I woke up. That's usually when I wake up. Actually, is like around 6:20. I don't know why 6:20, but right about then is usually when I wake up. And this time I was like, okay, I need to go upstairs. So I did that. And then there's a reason. Um anyway, so I did that and then I came downstairs and I started working on my story because I was like one page from the end of the chapter. Chapter 54. Yeah, chapter 54. So it's, one page away from the chapter and the end of the chapter, and I was like, yeah, okay. So, I was like, okay, we can finish this and it'd be all good. Well, I did that. And then I so, I am so sorry. I am like, I don't feel like I'm tired. I'm just yawning and yawning and yawning. Okay, ice cream has a little bit of sugar in it. So, I'm going to try to finish this row. Oh, if we're stopping at 10, we can't finish this row. Um, but yeah. So it's early for my regular stream time, but it would be on time for starting at 7 something. Like I said, I think it was around 7:16. So, oh, it says we've been on here for 2.5 hours. How do you work that out? Oh, yeah, so if it was 7:16, then yeah, it would be about 2.5 hours. Okay. Um, anyway, I'm gonna just, stop and eat my ice cream and then get right back. Ugh. I'm gonna stop and eat my ice cream and then get, right back at it. So I write books and they, of course. Hello?
Hi, this is Emily.
Holly Wilson. I'm with U.S. Funeral Expenses. How are you doing today?
You sound like a droid.
Okay, I'm with U.S.
You sound like a droid. That's exactly what I just said. No. Hello?
Hello, are you there?
No.
Hey, this is Anna. I saw something about an accident you were in that wasn't your fault.
Yeah, I was in an accident. That was not my fault. And Walmart did not send me to the doctor. So, like, there's all sorts of things that seem to be wrong with me, right? Well, what if it was all part of me falling and getting hurt on the way home from Walmart and, like, we can get money because I got injured and they did nothing about it. I don't know. I doubt that they would do anything about it or that I would win, but it would be worth trying if we had the money to do so. Because there was more than a couple of times when I'm like, I cannot do this. Like the time that I walked into Walmart and I was in tears because I had just fallen down somewhere along my route to the store, and she's like, get to work. Of course, that was bad, bad, bad supervisor. She didn't even know the store. She's like, like I'm going through baskets, making sure that I've got everything, so so I can go in just a grocery direction. And she goes, I already sorted that. And if I would have been more sassy, I would have been like, no, actually, I think I did call her out on it a few times. I'm like, then why is there stuff from automotive in here? It's all supposed to be taken to grocery. And it's like, there's stuff from automotive here, there's stuff from toys, there's stuff. What color was that? Okay, that was mangrove. So that is probably, yeah. But um, probably take it with a grain of salt because I don't know if these colors are even correct. They should be, but I don't know that they are, and I'm basing that on the fact that, we had that one set wrong. But it could just be that I thought that that's what it was supposed to be at that time. 'Cause one time I was doing it the opposite way, the way that we had it. I mean, that it was set up in the first place, and that's not okay. Anyway, so they went to the dance and they had dinner and everything, and then they go. Sean goes with Ashley into her room to hang out, and this was after promising her, promising Hayden that he wouldn't. But anyway, they're gonna go into Ashley's room and hang out, and then Jesse. Chantel was gonna was gonna pull Jesse into her room so they could hang out there, but they ended up going up to his room instead. So, anyway, in the morning, the boys are still in the room that they went to. Sean's still with Ashley, and Jesse's, Chantel's with Jesse. Yeah. So, well, I'd like to get to the end of the street at least. But I don't know how far away from the end of the street we are. It could be that we're miles away. Could be that we're pretty dang close. I don't know. So my husband actually on one of these streets has, fanciness. Except for that he's got those little lanterns for light at the end of the driveway kind of thing. Jungle, 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 jungle. Jungle, 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 jungle. That's the way I was going. So I was having a bit of a bonanza moment there. Excuse me. Okay. Oh, you can be on the path. You silly chicken. Just let me build it first. It's not like you can get in the house. Anyway, then they're going to go out to the living room. I don't remember if they're wearing their pajamas or not. I think they are. But anyway, they're going to go out to the living room and open presents. And, they've got tons of presents because they've got tons of family. But they're going to open presents. And then that afternoon, they're supposed to go to, I think it's Cameron and Lorna. I think. Anyway, they're supposed to go to the grandparents' house. And they're going to spend spend Christmas afternoon with them and open presents, and, from Grandma and Grandpa. And, one of the, one of the things that ends up happening is that they're going to spend the night and then go home the next day. And I think it's Adam is not feeling good. He's part of triplets. What is that? Okay, hold on. He's part of triplets, and I think I got that idea from Quince, but it might have been a dream. Actually, I think it was a dream. But anyway, I probably got it from watching Quince, though. Quince is a Disney movie, if you don't know. What is that? Okay, new question. Why is that? Oh, it's wrong again. I left it there. I think I left it there and didn't think to come back and fix it. I was probably going to come back and fix it later, and I didn't. Yeah, see, the rest of them are okay. Well, except for that one's supposed to be there. So we're going from dark wood to spruce. Really? Okay. Well, anyway. So how far are we? If we're like really super far. Yeah, I think we're really super far. Anyway, if we're like really super far, then I'll just quit. Or like do one more house. Yeah. Yeah, looks like we're really super far. Yeah, I'm gonna stop and eat my ice cream, watch my videos. I'm hoping that somebody makes a video on how to trigger Moana, because I don't know. Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
This is Rachel. Actually, I contacted you earlier about the cashback benefits associated with Medicare. Do you remember that?
No?
No worries, I'll be quick. We're reaching out because Medicare has approved cashback benefits for 2026 that may apply alongside existing coverage. Do you currently have Medicare Part A and B?
Sure.
Perfect. Based on your Medicare coverage, there are updated benefits available for you for 2026. I'm connecting you right now with your benefits advisor. They will walk you through exactly what you have coming. Please hold just one moment.
Your call is very important to us. Please stay on the line and you'll be transferred to the next available agent.
Apparently not. Pretty sure that that is a famous song. Da da ba dee doo ba doo boo ba da ba dee boom boom. Yeah, it's pretty far.
For holding in line. My name is Christopher Johnson. How are you doing today?
You're using Scott Peters' number to scam people. I am very pissed. Thank you. Okay. I apologize for putting that word on the stream, the one that started with P. But, yeah. Besides, they call 50 million times. Exaggeration, obviously. But they call me like 50 million times during my stream. And then the rest of the day, silence. And I've been answering because I don't know the name of the guy that I was trying to get the job with. It's another thing like my husband, except for that you go into Walmart and you know what? Oh, we're not quite done, but we'll take out the 8 anyway. See, I went and took out all of the numbers so far because that means I'm done. I am done with these streets. Can you guess the name of this street? Cherry. um, I decided, seriously, I decided that I grew up in a house at 711 Cherry Street, and I could totally give you that whole address. I won't give you the phone number because it might be in use now, but we used to live at 711 Cherry Street in Suisun, California. And the reason why I am totally confident with giving you that information is because that is no longer there. I don't have to worry about you disturbing the peace of the person who does live there because that house isn't there anymore. They decided it was an eyesore and they tore it down, and that's like a piece of my history gone bye bye. I I liked that house. I really did. I wanted to like I wanted to live in it when I grew up, but I wanted to turn it into a 2-story. Dumbest thing I ever came up with, I think. But I wanted to turn it into a 2-story. Because I used to think stairs were really cool. Well, now I hate them. Not like hate with a fiery passion kind of hate, but just, well, actually it kind of is. Um, but, not really like hate with a fiery passion. It's just that it really hurts when you're going up and down stairs with bad knees and bad ankles, and it's family bad ankles. So I got bad knees, I got bad ankles. I'm just wondering what's going to land me in the hospital first, kind of thing. But hopefully it won't do that until I'm at least 20 years older than I am, you know. But I'm already getting my mind around it's gonna happen, so just deal with it when it comes. We want to be able to. That's another thing. We want to be able to have, like maybe, for in good weather, like if we have to have something, if we have to have something to where we, um, have to have stairs or a we don't want stairs. We really don't want stairs. But stairs or a ramp to get into our house, we want to be able to do that. Uh, like I think we want to have like stairs on one side and the ramp on the other. I don't actually think we ever planned for one way or the other. Okay, there we go. Um, wait, what's my plan here? Oh, that's so this is there we go. And then get out of the road. Thank you. We don't want street chicken. That would be nasty. Okay. So we finished that one, right? Right. And then we discovered that we screwed up again. Okay. So let me just fix this real quick. So I write books and they are available on Amazon in hardback, paperback, and ebook. They ship everywhere that Amazon ships to, and they're available for free shipping on orders of $25 or more. I think that is one of the great benefits of buying stuff on Amazon is that when you need something to be shipped to you, you get a little bit of a discount. It's awesome. Okay, so that oh. Oh, no, 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 no. That is not why that is there. That is there because I think. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Yeah, it is. Never mind. I have no idea why that's there then. But it was probably saying, hey, stupid, you messed up. It meant it in the nicest possible way, but yeah. For train driveways. Okay. So, I wrote one children's book. It's called Coral. And it's part of the Adopted series. It's just, Coral kind of explains how she came into the family. She lived at the Kitty Pound, and I found out that there's a few more big words than I thought there were. Because there's like pound, and there's foster. There might be I think there's the name Nancy in there. That might be a little hard for children to read. But I tried, medicine. I tried to make it as easy to read as possible, but there were some things that I needed to put in there that, to explain her story. There were some things I had to put in there that might be a little hard for children to read, but it'd be great for an adult to read to the child, because I was reading it, I think last week, out loud on out loud on the screen, and like I would like to set up my camera to look at the pages because kids are going to want to look at the pages and read that book out loud. It wasn't meant to actually be in black and white, but it's kind of okay now because Coral is no longer with us, unfortunately. But anyway, her book is not available in hardback, is available in paperback for a lovely $6. And then for ebook, it's $2.99. And then Pirate's Daughter, that is the story of how the captain became, came to live on the ship. She lived on the ship when she was younger. Like ever since the day she was born. Well, probably before that, but ever since she was made, she's been living on the ship. And her boyfriend Hayden, they're not boyfriend girlfriend at that point, of course, but anyway, her boyfriend Hayden is a year older than her, and he's lived on the ship all his life also. And then her best so Hayden is her best friend at that point, and Jake is her other best friend, and they have all lived on the ship together. Well, when Hayden is 5, what are they on? You know how like people capture butterflies and they put them in that display case thing. Yeah, there was like a whole bunch of display case things with animals, like turkeys and rams and tell me they did not destroy my train ride. Looks like they did. I don't know if he's in Disneyland right now, but I mean that could be like California Soarin' or something like that, or Soaring over California or whatever it's called. I will let you know. Um. Anyway. Anyway. So, it's the story of how she gets onto the ship. So, like when they're little kids, they, they always hung out, played together. They're best friends. They're all best friends. The three of them. And, I don't think William would have been on the ship. Yeah, that's Disneyland. Unless that's an extra part. Unless that's an extra part that they built on. They messed it up. Oh, that could be a tram ride. I think it's a train. Yeah, it's a train. Yeah, they messed up my dinosaur ride. Huh. I mean, the dinosaur part. Anyway, so, when Hayden is 5 years old, there's a big storm, and he was comforting Morgan through the storm, because, like her daughter, she does not like storms, and they both fell asleep on her bed. Well, Katie, Morgan's mom, is captain of the ship. She gets very angry, we'll say. She gets very angry that they fell asleep on Morgan's bed together, and she wants to unalive herself, cabin boy. And so him and his family move off the ship, and so it's just Morgan and Jake. Oh, and there's Michelle too. I forgot. Sorry. There's also Michelle. So anyway, Jake and Michelle are best friends. They're like practically betrothed to each other. Like they're going to get married when they're older. But when Morgan is about to turn 7, or maybe she was even younger than that, I'm not entirely sure. But anyway, she was about 6 years old at the time. They had to move off the ship because Katie was going through a mental breakdown because her husband is no longer alive, or at least that's what they think at the time. And so she's having a mental breakdown about that. So they move in. Where did they move in? I think that's when they moved into to Australia. Jake is only there during the summertime. Actually, now that I think about it, anyway, Jake's only there during the summertime, but so anyway, they were living in Ireland. They moved to Australia to try to try to get the happiness back into their lives, and it works for the most part. For some reason in my dream though, the dream that I had, it's like Morgan was 7 and Jake was 14, but that's not how I wanted it. I went and changed it to, he's only 2 years older than Morgan, and it ends up that Katie thinks she's got her head back on straight and everything, and moves her and Morgan to California, where they meet a nice man, and they get together, and they have a son together. Well, there's a big problem with that too, because when the little guy is 4, him and his dad get ran over by a car because they were playing ball in the front yard and there was no fence to stop it, so the ball went out into the street. The little guy went after it, and dad was trying to save him, but the car got them anyway. Well, it turns out it's the car of the bat. I don't know what color that is. Oh, okay. Anyway, it's the car of the bad guy that was trying to force Morgan's dad, Daniel, to make. He was trying to force him to make Morgan marry his son when the time came. But Daniel's like, no. He's like, no, ain't happening. And so at that point, on Morgan's 7th birthday, he gets stabbed with a sword. Well, Morgan didn't check to see if he was actually actually stabbed, or if he was just pretending or anything. She goes home, she has a good cry, and then she tries to be the pirate that she should be, not crying, not get upset about it or anything. But she has a really good cry about it, of course. And Jake gets sent in to at least get her to come out and finish her birthday party. But anyway, so then they move to what do you call that? New England. That's what they call that whole area around Connecticut, New England. And they move somewhere over there, and poor Morgan has to go to a military style school. It's got a fence around it, and you can only go out one way. And that way's always locked. You're not getting out, kind of thing. So she ends up getting in trouble a lot because, she's causing problems, whatever they are. Well, she gets a boyfriend, and eventually Katie moves them all to New York. And it turned out that, Katie was supposed to be leaving Morgan with friends that she thought were okay, but apparently they hate kids, so that's why Morgan ended up at that school. They basically sent her away. But anyway, eventually she ends up working in that bar working in a bar in New York for her honorary uncle Lance. That means, it's a family friend, and trusted enough that she calls him uncle instead of just Lance. Kind of like Joey on Full House. They could have called him uncle. They didn't, but they could have. Because, he's been in the family so long that, and, his dad's best friend kind of thing. So they could have, but they didn't. But anyway, so then she gets, because she was working at the bar, the captain gets interested in her, and he ends up kidnapping her, and I'll let you read the rest of the book to find out what happens. And to get all those details I didn't tell quite